Hey there folks, and welcome back to the channel. I am in a really fortunate position with my channel where I can basically post things that are close to my heart, and today is going to be no exception. So I want to start, amongst all the other content that I bring of all the modern up-to-date stuff, which will still continue, I want to bring you an insight into my journey in gaming and some of the things that I've seen that I remember maybe from like my childhood or maybe from more recently, games that have had quite a big influence on me and kind of decided the direction that my gaming goes in these days. I am a 90s kid, so today I have got something particularly special to share with you. We are going to start with a bang, ladies and gentlemen, and today we're going to be looking at unboxing a special edition Aladdin Mega Drive 2 that is completely unused. I'm Reactor Raptor and this is Raptor Reviews. Let's get into it. Okay, folks, so I'm really excited to be sharing this one with you. I couldn't wait. I was really excited about picking this up on Saturday. I've been watching a lot of videos lately. Just give you a tiny bit of a background into this. I was watching a lot of videos lately about a lot of places that are doing refurbished consoles and things like that, and I've decided that I want to start a collection of some of these older consoles for the living room and display them all together. And in looking for the best place to find them, I looked at places. There's loads of different places that like restore them. DK Oldies is one, but I don't believe they have like a brilliant reputation from what I've seen online. I guess our biggest branch for that is CEX, but they don't restore. They just sell on what they get, and sometimes it can be difficult to find consoles in good condition without scratches or scuffs or, you know, things stuck to them or paint on the cables and you know, little things like that. And I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to stuff like this. So I went down to my local game store. This is a game store called Game Zone in a place called Tunstall in Stoke-on-Trent. He was a fantastic guy who helped me specifically find this particular gem. Please show him some love. The link to his Facebook is in the description below as well, because he's performed more than one miracle with me, as you'll see over the coming days. Because there's a lot more things that I bought from that shop at the time. Other than this, this was just probably the most exciting thing that I got. So this is a Mega Drive 2. So I actually picked this up for the very reasonable price of £85, which is a really good price actually for any sort of used console, let alone one that hasn't been used at all. So the box has been opened. Probably, I'm guessing, to check what's inside. So the sleeve on the outside is a promotional Aladdin sleeve, which you don't see many of these days, intriguingly enough. So on the front, you've got you've got the console itself, and then you've got the art. I'll just block out my face so that you can see the box. And you've got all the Aladdin art as well. And then if I just spin that round, then on the back, you've got a little bit more about the game, some shots, and a little bit about the console as well. It did actually come with a copy of Aladdin, which is brilliant. It had, because it's unused, it had all of its bits. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to take off this sleeve that is on the box, and then the box that's underneath should be a lot more familiar to anyone my age. They should recognise this straight off. So if I just put that somewhere safe back there. And then this is obviously the classic Mega Drive box with the shots of the console on the front. And then on the back, you can see some of the classic games there that you could get at the time with the Mega Drive as well. So just to give you a little bit of a history about the Mega Drive itself. The original Mega Drive is, obviously, we all know it's made by Sega. If you can see that Sega logo in your head without hearing the music, if you come from my age, I would be very, very surprised. The original Mega Drive was released in 1988 in Japan, 1989 in the US, and 1990 in Europe. So it came to the PAL region last. And then the Mega Drive 2 specifically was a redesign that Sega did in 1993. And it was originally released as sort of a low-cost option. I guess sort of like the PS2 Slim equivalent. Didn't use as much in terms of manufacturing. It had parts that were less likely to break on them, so like the push buttons instead of the switches. And all the same stuff inside though, so exactly the same console inside. But it also didn't have an RF output as well, because obviously by this time TVs were starting to change. The RF output was becoming a little bit less of a likely source for you to use for a console, so they started giving them out with AV cables and SCARTs. So this is clearly a later one because I have a SCART cable inside, so this is probably more towards the end of like the 2000 run, because the console ended its run in Brazil in 2002, and that was for the entire of the Genesis system collection. The reason, interesting factoid, the reason it's called the Genesis in the States is because they couldn't get the trademark for the name Mega Drive. Mega Drive is the name they wanted to call it, and they could get the rights in Europe and everywhere else, but not in Japan and the US. So, let's open up the box and see what's inside. So first of all, as you can see from before, the box is in really good condition. Yeah, it's got dog-eared corners, which, to be honest, I'd expect for this age. To find one, he did actually in the shop have a completely pristine one that he didn't want to sell that was part of his personal collection, no matter what. I did try and persuade him, but he didn't want to sell it. So if I just open this up and spin it round, you can see... So I've taken the game out so that I can show you. But I'll just spin this around so that you can see it. So if I lift that up, it's got everything all still in its original wrapping. These are probably the original bags that came with the actual packaging. It's still got all the cardboard inserts for the separation of all the parts, which is quite rare with the box that you find these days. So that's a nice little touch. And what we'll do is we'll start with the actual unit itself. So these are a lot lighter than the actual Sega Genesis one. So you can see here, it's got a little bit of dust, as to be expected, but no scratches, no scuffs, completely pristine sort of condition there. A little bit of dust on there. And then if you look at the back, you can see that it's perfect on the back. Doesn't look like it's ever been cracked open to be refurbished or anything like that. All of that's still in touch. They're still in touch. And you've got your ports here for your power and going out to your TV. And at the front, you've got your power and reset buttons. And the two controller ports at the front. Because, yes, ladies and gentlemen, for any of you who weren't born in the 90s, controllers used to be wired to the consoles, which was highly irritating. Okay, so that's the unit itself. Just put that to the side there. It also comes with two controllers. And it's nice as well because these are brilliant examples of original controllers. And there's actually two different variations of the controllers. There's the one with the grey start button and the one with the red start button. The ones that came with the consoles do tend to have the red button. The ones with the grey button tended to be additional accessories. That's not always the case, but tends to be the general rule. There's a few exceptions to that, I guess. Because my console that I got when I was a kid, and that I opened on Christmas Day, with a very, very excited look on my face, apparently, that actually had the grey buttons. I didn't have the controllers with the red buttons. So, that's one, and then we've also got a second one as well, which we can tell is the original that came with the console again, because we've got the matching buttons, and again, it is literally in completely unused, pristine condition. Don't know if the camera's going to focus on that there. There we go. So you can see all of the buttons are in fantastic condition. There's no gunk or skin or anything like that. There's no like oil or grease on the back of the controller or the side where it will have been held. And to find one in this condition, guys, it's special. It's not impossible, but it's special, and it's special to me as well. He bought this out, and I saw the box, and I literally lost my mind when I saw it because I was just going completely insane. This is such a nostalgia trip for me, and this video is more of an indulgence for me, I've got to be honest. But I thought you guys might be interested to see what kind of condition you can still get these consoles in, and what a good one would look like if you were having one. Also comes with, and this is another quite rare thing to get, it comes with all the original manuals. So this is the original manual here, all in pristine condition again, no dog-eared corners, no bent over corners, no rips, no tears, nothing. And guys, this is particularly special because it has two things that make me incredibly excited that came with my console. Well, okay, this didn't make me excited at the time, but it does today, you know, because this tells me that it's been well looked after. This is the original warranty for the console. And the registration card that you can send off to register that as well, to have your warranty with it. And it also comes with the really cool part. I had this, if it's the one I'm thinking of, and it has the reverse side I'm thinking of, I had this up in my bedroom for years. Oh, and yes, it does. It's the Sonic the Hedgehog poster that came with every Genesis console at the time. You could get this with a copy of Sonic or with the console, which is nice. And then on the back, it's got some of the earlier... It's got a big list of all the earlier Mega Drive games as well, some of the other things that you can play. On the back there's some really classic ones. I mean, look, this one over here. Michael Jackson Moonwalker is on this poster. If you ever feel like you want to have a non-drug related acid trip, go and play that game on Mega Drive. Trust me, it's a wild ride. So that's absolutely incredible. Because bear in mind, I opened this a little bit to look at what was inside, and the guy showed me in the shop, he pulled out the bag and he said, oh yeah, the manual's in here. And then it's only just now that I've seen that it's actually got the warranty in the back as well. That's... is it going to increase the value of the console? No, probably not. But for me, just that's a nice little touch sort of for me. It's got the power block, which again was the smaller one that came with these ones. And it has a lower voltage because they were worried about the longevity of the Mega Drive console. So they released it with a smaller power block because they found that this would give these more longevity. Now this console, this particular one, the Mega Drive 2, isn't actually as popular with the retro community as the Mega Drive 1 is. Probably because it is like the cheaper version of the Mega Drive, but these ones you do tend to find are the ones that will work for longer and not just be display pieces. So we are going to plug this in a minute and see how it works and see how it runs. And we're going to try out the game that I got with it as well. But what I've had to do is I've had to wait a day to actually get an adapter because my TV doesn't support any of this anymore. My TV's that new and this console's that old, it literally doesn't support it anymore. So it comes with a SCART cable as well, as you can see here. So, and then this part here is what plugs into the Mega Drive itself. It's like a... I have no idea what it's like, a pin connector. So I'm not sure what like the proper name for that is. But it's a SCART cable for the Mega Drive. And then this is a brilliant part of it. So this wasn't one of my favourite games for the Mega Drive, to be honest. But with it being Disney as well, and with me being like a rather large Disney fan, it definitely piqued my curiosity. So this is the copy of Aladdin that came with it. And as you can see, apart from one little chip that someone's probably done by shoving it into the box a little bit too hard, which is a shame, it's in pristine condition. The label inside, so the dust cover inside isn't ripped or dog-eared or anything like that, which kind of says that the box hasn't been opened too much. If you look at the spine, there's no creasing on the dust cover for the spine or anything like that, so it hasn't been opened much. It still has the original factory seal sticker attached up here as well, so the game has obviously been opened at some point, but all of this is still here as well. And for those of you who don't know, games back then actually came with big, hefty manuals explaining for you how to play the game. There was no such thing as tutorials in those days. You literally just, you knew the game, or you didn't, or you read the manual, or you didn't. That was the equivalent of skipping the tutorial back then, not reading the manual. But very often now, because these consoles are so old and these games are so old, you don't find them with the manuals as much anymore. They get lost or thrown away or dog-eared. And to be honest, they're not brilliant quality. They're just like staples down the middle of a really thick book, so they fall apart really easily as well, and the pages start falling out. When I had my Mega Drive when I was a kid, my manuals are falling apart because I'd read them so often. But you can see there, it's just literally two normal staples through several gloss pages, and that's why these things do fall apart quite quickly and they are fragile. But as you can see, this one's in beautiful, pristine condition, no dog-eared pages. Even the this colour of the pages as well, you do find that some of the manuals have faded if they've been left out in the sun and whatnot. This is still the brilliant white that I remember these manuals being in. This is just insane. It's still like, it's not yellowed. It's clearly come from a smoke-free home, which is nice. I'm pretty sure it will have done anyway. Yep, it still smells brand new. That's crazy. I remember that smell. Whew! It's giving me tingles. But yeah, there wasn't much in the manuals, but you have all like the languages side by side on each page and whatnot. The Aladdin one was a little bit different, which was nice, because on some of the pages you had like these little Disney drawings of like the characters throughout the manual. I remember that being like something that only this manual did, which was nice. So just pop that back in there, and then you've got the cartridge itself, where the label is in perfect condition. It's still completely stuck down to the cartridge, if that's going to focus. There we go. And it's not turning up there or anything like that. And you can see from sort of the inside there, the condition of the cartridge itself. It's in brilliant condition. No scratches, scuffs, anything like that. So, just very carefully put that back in the box. Sounds like it's breaking every time you do it. And as well, something you found with these boxes as well is these clips broke off really easily. Like the clips that hold the cartridges in, or the clips that hold the manual in. But all those are still there. They still feel very strong, as if like the day that, they were, as if the day that they were made, which is fab. So, right then, so it's the exciting part now, guys. We're going to try this out and see how it actually runs. I haven't switched it on yet, so we're going to go on a journey together to see if it does indeed switch on, because it's always going to be a lottery with an older console and older electronics. So let's get this all hooked up, get the camera shifted to a slightly different position, and we will see the Mega Drive magic in action. Okay then guys, so we've got this all set up and ready to rock with our adapter. I literally haven't switched it on yet, so I don't know what's going to happen when I press that button. However, I am really excited to find out, so I've loaded up Aladdin, and we're going to see how that runs. So, without further ado, let's push the button and see how it goes. Oh my days! It actually works! Oh, this is insane. It actually looks quite good as well. So obviously you've got some of the ratios off because these are built for a different ratio with TV. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in and actually have a go. Oh, it's bringing back so many memories. So, yeah, jump, slash, apples. Oh, oh this is insane! I'm surprised it comes out of quite good quality, because what you find with some of the newer TVs, sometimes you'll get a little bit of the pixel tearing. This one seems to be dealing with it quite well, actually. I like to be able to say that, you know, that's one of the reasons I bought an expensive TV, to be able to play Mega Drive. It wasn't, it's just a bonus. But yeah, the sound's good. It looks like it's even, it looks like the adapter that I've bought has actually upscaled it a little bit as well. The colours look a lot richer than I remember them being. How long is this level? I remember this being much shorter. Whoa! Okay. There's just something about like being able to play it with the original controller that's so nice. Okay, so that's Aladdin, guys. So I do have a couple more games that I bought that we'll just fire up on this and see how they look. Let's take a look. Okay then, guys, so I've got another copy of a game here that I used to play a lot when I was a kid. Probably one that probably a lot of people don't know that well, but it was one of my favourites when I was a kid. It's Desert Strike, which is a helicopter game, like an Air Force's helicopter game. And this was made by Electronic Arts, so known today as EA. These are the guys that make FIFA and all those other sporting games. They also make Battlefield as well. So they've got some really, really big AAA titles now, but they had really humble beginnings. And that's their old logo. Just at the bottom there, the triangle, circle and square. And the EA cartridges were a little bit different from Mega Drive. They actually had this little yellow tab here, and they were bigger in size than the other ones as well. So you always knew when you had an EA game, it was a nice little bit of marketing there. So we're going to plug this one in and see how it's different from Aladdin. Okay, so sometimes when games don't work, you have to do the little thing which is blowing on the cartridges, so now I've got this one working. Oh, that's brilliant. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. So yeah, sometimes when these games didn't work, I'll just turn this down a second, you have to like blow in the cartridges, because sometimes dust builds up on the inside here, and just giving it a little bit of a blow unclogs it, and then everything works again. So no more scratch discs or anything like that, but if there was dust in your cartridge you couldn't run it, so it's very common for people to blow in the cartridges just to clear the dust, and then hey presto, you have a working game. So let's have a look at Desert Strike and see how that plays. Yep, we'll do campaign 1. It's possible as well the screen could be off because I literally haven't set up my TV, I just literally plugged it in and gone, so... I don't know what was so amazingly fun and addictive about this game. It's just like you had this little helicopter, and I can't even remember what the controls are. So you go forward with like the up button, then, oh, this is the edge of the map. Okay. Maybe it's up here. Yep, we're going the right way. Okay. So, yeah, then you have to complete little missions around the map. It's extremely difficult as well, because bear in mind, back then, what a lot of people don't know from today's gaming world is that Mega Drives didn't have saves like you do now. You just had to literally play the game for hours on end until you got right to the end. There was no way of stopping. You could pause, and you could leave it pause for ages, which is what I sometimes did. But there was no way of actually saving a game and coming back to it later. So you had to do the whole thing in one go. Or leave it paused and maybe burn the image into the screen. So let's find something we can blow up. Ah, what are these? Let's see. There we go. I'm not doing that. Nope, can't go back. I need to turn around. Particularly difficult as well because you run out of ammo and stuff. And you had to pick up armour and things as you went. You can see like the missions that you've done here, so you got the armour, load guns. Now, as you can see, actually, it's now actually scaled all the way to my screen, which is nice. No, it's been on a while. Missions, map, status. Quite an advanced game for its time, actually. That's crazy. Yeah, you have a rocket, sir. Okay then guys, so that's me done. I hope you enjoyed seeing this as much as I did. I have the biggest grin on my face right now. I can't wait to go away and play with this and try a few other things that I got from the shop. Remember guys, that's Game Zone in Tunstall. If you want to check out some really cool retro stuff like this, they've got a few other bits that'll take you on a bit of a trip down memory lane if you're from some of the later years that I'm from. So their link is down in the description below, ladies and gentlemen, and I am going to be back in the next video. Why am I going to be back? Because gamers never die, they just devolve. See you next time, guys.